Every woman has a language she never speaks out loud. It lives in the way she moves, the parts of herself she chooses to reveal, and the moments she lets her guard fall, but only around you. And if a woman shows you a specific part of her body, one she instinctively protects from everyone else, she is telling you something her words have not yet caught up to. That is not imagination. That is biology. That is millions of years of human instinct communicating one thing before language ever gets the chance to form. Today we are going through 9 signals most men will never recognize. 9 moments where her body tells you the truth before her lips ever could. Think about the last time you were near a woman and something shifted. You could not name it. The air between you changed. She moved differently. Something in your chest responded before your brain could form a single thought. That was not your imagination. That was biology operating exactly as it was designed to. Women do not always use words for the things that matter most. Sometimes the feeling is too raw, too early, too vulnerable for language. So the body speaks first. It always has. When a woman reveals a part of herself she instinctively guards from the rest of the world, that is not casual. That is her body making a decision about you, a decision her words have not caught up to yet. The first signal is the neck reveal. You are talking to her. Maybe it is a quiet evening. Maybe it is an ordinary afternoon. And mid-sentence, without a single conscious thought behind it, she reaches up and sweeps her hair to one side. Her neck is bare. Her eyes stay on yours. Something in the air between you shifts. The neck is one of the most vulnerable, unprotected parts of the human body. Every survival instinct we carry tells us to guard it. So when a woman unconsciously bares her neck in your presence, her body is overriding its own defense system. That is not politeness. That is not habit. That is her nervous system communicating something clear. This man is safe. This man I want closer. You have felt the weight of that moment before. You simply never had the language for what it was. The second signal is the wrist flash. She is telling you something, a story, a thought, something that made her laugh. Her hands are open, moving alive. And then you notice it. Her inner wrists are facing toward you, palms up, pulse visible. She has no idea she is doing it. But her body is doing something deeply intimate in plain sight. The inner wrist is thin-skinned, with the pulse running closest to the surface. In body language research, exposing the inner wrist is one of the purest unconscious signals of openness and trust that exists. She is showing you something raw without saying a single word, something she does not show just anyone, something most people never even think to look for. The third signal is the collarbone trace. You are deep in conversation. The world around you has softened. And her fingers drift slowly, almost absent-mindedly, along the line of her collarbone. She traces it. Maybe she adjusts a necklace that did not need adjusting. Maybe her fingertips come to rest in the hollow of her throat. The collarbone sits at the exact border between what is public and what is private. It is a threshold. When she draws your attention there, she is testing, consciously or not, whether you will notice her standing at that line. She is drawing a map with her fingertips. And that map leads somewhere only you are meant to follow. The fourth signal is the shoulder drop. The first 3 signals are about trust forming quietly between 2 people. This one crosses into something different. This is invitation. There is a real difference between a woman who trusts you and a woman who is actively drawing you closer. You are sitting next to her. The conversation has shifted into something more personal. And then, without announcement, she slides her jacket off one shoulder. Not quickly. Slowly. Like she wants you to notice. Like the act itself is part of what she is telling you. Removing a layer around someone is one of the oldest trust signals in human behavior. It is symbolic disarming. She is literally taking off her armor in your presence. And the slowness matters more than the gesture itself, because desire does not live in the reveal. It lives in the anticipation. In the space between what is hidden and what is shown. The fifth signal is the inner knee turned toward you. This one hides in plain sight. It is so subtle that most men miss it every single time. You are in a group, 4 or 5 people, everyone talking, laughing, engaged. But something makes you glance down. Her knees are pointed at you, not toward the group, not toward anyone else in the room, directly at you. Body orientation research is unambiguous about this. We unconsciously aim our most intimate zones toward the person we are most drawn to. It is not a conscious choice. It is deeper than choice. Her mouth may be part of the group conversation, but her body has already made a private decision. And her knees are quietly telling you what her words will not. The sixth signal is the lower back arch. Most people believe attraction starts in the eyes. Eye contact opens the door. That is true. But deeper attraction, the kind that moves past initial curiosity into something undeniable, does not show up in the eyes first. It shows up somewhere else. She reaches for something on a high shelf or stretches after sitting for a long time. And for a brief, unhurried moment you see it, the natural curve of her lower back, effortless and unhidden. Across every culture ever studied, the lumbar curve is one of the most universally recognized signals in human attraction. This is not cultural conditioning. This is not something society taught you to notice. This is biology, ancient and encoded. When she lets you see it, whether she is conscious of the moment or not, it is one of the deepest biological invitations the human body knows how to send. The seventh signal is the hip shift. And this is the one that changes everything. She is standing in a doorway or leaning against something. She shifts her weight onto one hip. Her hand rests there easily, naturally, and then she looks back at you over her shoulder. In that single quiet moment, something stirs inside you that has nothing to do with logic or thought.
You do not analyze it.
You do not decide to feel it. You simply feel it, deep, instant, and undeniable. The hip-to-waist ratio is the single most studied marker of female attractiveness in evolutionary psychology. It transcends culture, era, geography, and language. When she draws attention to this part of herself near you, whether she knows she is doing it or not, it is the most primal signal her body knows how to send. Every man has felt this pull, that wordless, full body knowing that something just shifted between you and her. You felt it but could not explain it. Now you understand what was actually happening. The eighth signal is the lip moment. Your conversation is flowing. And then everything pauses for half a breath. Her eyes drop from yours. They fall to your mouth just for a moment. And then softly, briefly, her lower lip.
Just barely.
So subtle you would miss it if you were not paying attention. She looks away with the faintest trace of a smile. That was not nervousness. That was her mind running ahead of the moment, racing past the conversation, imagining what has not happened yet. During heightened attraction, blood flow increases naturally to the lips. Touching them is a self-soothing response to a feeling the brain can barely contain. She is not choosing to do this. Her body is responding to something it feels but cannot say, rehearsing something her words have not yet given permission for. The ninth signal is full proximity surrender. And this is the complete sentence, a crowded room. She could stand anywhere, sit anywhere, choose anyone. But she is next to you, closer than the space requires, closer than politeness demands. You feel her warmth before her skin ever touches yours. And then her shoulder brushes against you. And she does not pull away. She does not adjust. She does not create distance. She leans in, slowly, quietly, like the space between you was the last thing standing in her way. This is the final vulnerability display. Every signal before this was a single word. This is the complete sentence. When a woman removes all physical distance between herself and you, voluntarily, consistently, silently, the internal deliberation is finished. Her body has said everything it knows how to say. Now here is what matters most. None of these signals should ever be read alone. One signal might mean comfort. One might be habit. But when 3, 4, or 5 of them appear together consistently from the same woman, that is not coincidence. That is a conversation. A real one, conducted in a language she trusted you enough to speak. The man who understands that difference, who recognizes what it costs a woman to lower every wall she spent years building, that is the man she actually wants. Not the loudest one, not the most aggressive one. The one who truly sees her. This was never about reading her body. It was always about reading her trust.